Hey, what's up, everybody? Ryan Knuppel here, Knup Sports Show, episode 182. Hope you're having a great day. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening, watching, reading, whatever you're doing with this show. I appreciate you consuming it as usual. Today, we have an awesome guest, one that I've met before, and I think he's doing some amazing things in this community and in this world of sports betting that we all love and adore. And I'm excited to bring him on and talk more about what's going on. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right in here, and I'm going to bring on Caleb Dykema of Vault. Caleb,
How you
are
doing,
you, my
Ryan?
friend?
Good to be on number 182. This is awesome.
There you go. I'm excited to have you on. I'm excited to dive into Vault and hear what's going on. But first and
Yeah.
foremost, where are you living these days? What you up to? Where you call home these days?
Yeah, so I'm actually living in Atlanta right now for the next 3 weeks or so. I actually grew up southeastern Wisconsin, so not too far from you. Grew up on a farm there. Spent good chunk of my life in Wisconsin, school there. Worked there, that kind of thing. And yeah, just recently moved down south because I hate the cold. So
So the real reason for that question was, and now I can ask it in either or, Packers or
oh yeah,
Falcons?
oh yeah,
Packers.
Packers. Yeah, we're not
So you
we're
haven't
not going to
adopted the
change
Falcons
teams
yet.
that quickly.
I
Been here
get it.
9 months, Ryan. I don't think I'm going to change teams that quickly.
Hey, you never know. You never know if it was like the Bucks or somebody that you were jumping on a bandwagon, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, cool.
No,
Well,
that's
awesome. Well, yeah, well, that's awesome. Well, tell me a little bit about yourself from a career side before we get into Vault and knowing you're the co-founder of Vault. But leading up to that, what
yeah,
what kind of got you into the entrepreneurial world, and what was your path like?
yeah. No, I appreciate the question. So I actually started. My parents grew up on a farm. My parents were very entrepreneurial. Really taught me kind of anywhere from boots on the ground, feeding the chickens and pigs, all the way up to selling at the farmers market, things like that. So that's really where it started. I went to school for mechanical engineering. I really thought that was my career path initially, and I loved it at the time. I actually, while in college, I invented and patented a product called OneSwipe. This was I was basically watching one of my engineering professors clean this whiteboard, and he was an older guy, had arthritis. He was using this little tiny eraser to clean this massive, huge whiteboard, and it was just like literally just the whole way, just going across. Right, I'm sitting there in class. I'm like, why has this not been solved? Like whiteboards have been around for ages, right? So in my college house, I invented OneSwipe. It was basically this whiteboard eraser that spanned from the top of the board to the bottom of the board,
Yep.
had a track across the
Hmm,
top, and all you'd have to do is grab the handle and push it across and erase the whole
love
thing
it.
in one swipe. So yeah, that was really like the really big spark
Yeah.
into entrepreneurship, really my first major startup there. And yeah, from there, so I graduated a couple years back, went to a mechanical engineering role.
Mhm.
Did not like it. Sticked around for about 6 months. Left that and went, full time with Vault. So that's my career path. It's been an exciting ride, and yeah, kind of started in engineering, and now it's more marketing, sales, operations. So
That's amazing. Thanks for that background, and I envy you a little bit because you stuck. You realized right away that corporate world maybe not for me. 6 months in,
made it
I spent
6 months, man.
I spent 15 years in the corporate world, and looking back where I'm at now, I've been out like 7, 8 years doing full
Yeah,
time. All of this. Looking back, I wish I would have only spent 6 months of my life, in
right.
that setting. But we can talk about that another time. But yeah,
Yeah,
so Vault. Let's dive in. You're co-founder of Vault, and Vault, the number one sports betting tracking app, right? So it's a tracking
yeah,
app. Give us just a high level for those that may not understand or know what it is.
yeah.
I'll pull it up on the screen while you're talking, but also give us a high level of what it is.
Cool. Yeah. So really, our goal at Vault is to engage the bettor, enhance that experience for sports bettors by bringing friends and bets together. So what Vault does is it links to a sports bettor's sports books, all of their sports books, and automatically tracks all their bets, their stats, their trends, where they're most profitable, their bankrolls, all of that in
Hmm.
one central location. So really, that central hub, that dashboard, to give them a bird's eye view of their betting history.
Yeah, that's awesome, and it's much needed from a consumer and somebody that bets on sports, and especially if you are betting across different apps, right? If you bet in
Yep.
one app, maybe or maybe not, you don't need it. I'm sure there's some stats and some dashboards that really help you dive into your stats.
Yep.
But if you're doing stuff across sports books, which I would strongly suggest doing if you really want to be serious
Yep.
about betting, something like this is super important. And tell us a bit about some of the operators that you're integrated with and that you're pulling bets from for somebody.
Yeah, and really just going back to your last point, Ryan, like it's just really exciting. So we're constantly talking to our users, right? We're a startup, so we're always trying to get feedback. And it's really interesting to see the different types of sports bettors. Like I was talking to somebody literally yesterday where, they only use one sports book, DraftKings,
Mm,
but I would consider them kind of weird that they don't use more than one, but I would consider them like semi-pro. Like it sounded like they were very good at what they do, right? And
mhm,
even then, it's still like DraftKings, these sports books, they're not giving you this, transparent information because it's just not, it doesn't fit with their business model, right? So even then, like being able to see transparently into
mhm.
how I'm doing as a better, even if I only use one sports book, is super valuable. So just wanted to throw that there.
No, no, and I agree with you, and I think, yeah, that was the point I was gonna kinda make as well,
Yeah.
because you guys do next level, regardless of how many operators and sports books you're using, but breaking down, bets by team and what type you're good at, and as we're looking at the screen here, just you can really get your own trends and what you're
Yep.
good at and what you're not. You may think you're good at over-unders or total bets, but what is your actual win-loss percentage and your profit on
Exactly.
those? I think that's really, really neat and something that'd be powerful for anyone. I mean, we're all stat data geeks these days, and so
True.
this is just another level of that, right?
Exactly. That's the idea. That's the idea.
Cool, awesome. And so, how's it going? So, tell us about where you have the app out there. It looks like it's on the Apple
Yep.
Store. How's it going currently?
Going really well. So when we started, I'm a very I just love digging into our users, our customers. Like I want to
Yeah,
know everything about them and really understand like why they use the app, how they're using it, what are we doing well, what we're doing not so well. So we launched like our beta back in December, like a long time ago. So we
wow.
started really early on, just like getting feedback, and it sucked initially, right? But we knew that
Hmm.
going in. And from there, we've just been able to make so many improvements because we put it out there so early. So
Yeah,
right now it's going fantastic. Like we pushed it out to the public, officially for this football season, and people are eating it up. We're really
yeah,
growing right now. It's exciting to be able to finally like put the foot on the gas for football
yeah,
season because it was always just like slowly growing, getting feedback,
yeah.
and now it's like all right, let's put the pedal to the metal. So
That's amazing. Good for you. That's awesome. And we'll put the links to the app and all of that, the website and everything out there in the show notes. But I got a kind of tough question for you. So,
all right,
as we all know, there's many companies jumping into this, crazy sports betting, iGaming world, and there's probably, I don't know how much competition to this, but there probably are other apps that are doing very similar things. I know we've had a couple on the show that are doing very similar type things.
yeah.
So my question to you is, what's your secret sauce, or what would you consider your unique selling point, maybe over some of the competition? We don't have to talk about, who those other apps might be, but
Yeah.
do you guys consider something, that you guys do better than others, or that maybe is something unique that you guys do?
Yeah. I mean, it is our secret sauce, so I don't want to give away the whole secret sauce. But no, to
I
give you an
love it.
idea of high level of what we're really doing is really just making it more intuitive experience.
Okay.
We realized going into this space that sports betting apps, sports betting platforms were just so hard to understand. If you're a more experienced bettor, you can understand a crap ton of numbers on a page, but for somebody that's less experienced or even like, a mid-level bettor, that's just overwhelming. And when it
Yeah.
comes to UI, when it comes to
Mhm.
improving an experience, you really want to have a clean look. So I would
Sure.
say one of the big things that differentiates us is instead when we started building our app, we didn't look, Ryan, at other sports betting apps. We actually look towards the financial industry, the fintech
Mhm.
industry,
Mhm.
Coinbase, Intuit Mint, Robinhood. We realized what they were really, really, really good at is being able to present very complicated information, numbers, graphs, things like that, in a very simple, easy to understand way. We
Yep.
realized that other sports betting apps and platforms, whether they're a competitor of ours or not, didn't do that. And so we
Mhm.
really focused on designing and building surrounding that fintech space idea.
Sure. Sure. That's amazing. So thank you for sharing that, by the way. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. I know it's a tough question to answer sometimes, and I appreciate your transparency on that. But another question I have is, let's talk a little bit more on the business side, and maybe
Yeah.
the economics of what's going on here. So is the app free? One, and secondly, what does the revenue model look like? Like, how are you guys making money on this,
Yeah.
or why is it a good thing for you
Yeah,
guys?
because what's the point of doing this if we're not making money, right? So yeah, so right now the app is completely free, and we plan to keep the app free, for the foreseeable future, if not forever. We do plan to have pro plans where users are going to get more in depth insights,
Yeah.
information, different picks, whatever that might be. I still haven't nailed that down exactly, but that is the plan in the future. And then right now, our main revenue stream is through affiliates. So working with different sports books like BetMGM, Unibet,
Mhm.
BetRivers, etc. Working with them, driving users to their platforms is our main revenue model right now.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's a nice revenue model. I like the affiliate side. Obviously, it has a little sweet spot in my heart because
Yes.
that's kind of one of my passions, and a lot of my friends are affiliates, and I'm an affiliate, and all the above. And
Yeah.
so I think that space is growing and emerging, and heading down that. With an app like this, it makes some sense as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead. You have
Well, I
something
was
to
going to say,
chime in.
so one of the things I think we mentioned before, or talked about before the show, was just this idea how I really think sports books need to improve in how they market to customers.
Uh,
Right now, to me, it's just this shotgun blast idea of marketing where you're slapping a billboard up or putting an ad on a bus, right? And
yeah.
these are great for this initial push for sports books to get users and to get customers, but this we all know this is not going to work out in the long run. And so
Yeah.
sports books really need to look towards other industries, what they've done, really creating more personalized, more valuable to a specific user type promotions, things like that.
Hmm.
And I think
Hmm.
it's just a matter of getting that data, finding out what that user likes, and then pushing out those promotions in a more targeted way.
Absolutely. So, what's the future look like for Vault? I mean, where are you guys headed? Obviously, in a great spot right now with the app, kind of rocking and rolling. Football season's
Yeah.
here. I'm sure gaining market share is a big part of this. But what does the future look like for you guys?
What's the grandiose vision? Yeah, so really, right now we're very focused in sports betting in the states, but our goal is we really want to take this not only to sports betting but daily fantasy, esports,
Hmm.
really any iGaming is going to be
Yeah.
fitting for our model, and we want to take that not only in the states but Canada and across the world. We've looked just briefly at other countries, and again, it's still like we're still lacking this idea of transparency, this idea of engaging this better by enabling them to see their stats, things like that. And we think that we can take that
Yeah.
across the world into the future.
That's awesome. Very cool. That's awesome. Moving across the United States and then across the world is very
Exactly.
cool. So how can we help? Me, and when I say we, myself and maybe some of the audience, some people that are watching and maybe new to Vault, maybe other business owners. What do you need? What do you need help with? What's an ask you might have of our community here?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think the biggest things right now is always just looking for more partners, more affiliate partners,
Mhm.
more potential ad partners, things like that, whether that's any sports related type company. And then also we're raising around as well too. So if there's any
Cool.
investors or individuals that are looking to join our journey, that would be those introductions would be helpful as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, for sure. I would urge people to get a hold of you and definitely talk, especially if they're looking to invest in an up and coming tracking app. Looks amazing, Caleb. Clearly, you're a bright individual and young,
Appreciate it,
bright,
Ryan.
talented in this industry. I got one last question for you, and it's a little more just more from. I'm curious, right? You're
Yeah.
you're young, you're talented, you're an entrepreneur. What's one of the biggest challenges you've experienced? Because I know everything is not always green and rosy, right? What's one of the biggest hiccups/challenges you've had in launching this over the last couple years?
Yeah. That's a great question. I think it's going to sound kind of cliche, but it's just getting in your own way, right? Like when
Mm.
you're, being young or whatever age you are, creating a company, there's so many different roadblocks that you face. There's so many times where you're just like, it's like, what the fuck am I doing? Right. Like
Right,
is,
right.
is what I'm doing actually the right thing? Is
Yeah.
like what I'm doing actually going to work in the long run? Right. And it's just having that ability to be stoic, trusting your gut, having that faith and pushing forward. And just, understanding that every single, failures are going to happen and understanding that, that's part of the ride.
Great advice. I mean, that's yeah, 100%. A lot of times, you have to take imperfect action, right? You have to move
Exactly.
fast, be decisive, just make things happen.
Yep.
And it's not always going to be the right decisions, but that's when you move on and you figure out what is better going forward. So,
Exactly.
yeah,
It's
that's
probably a cliche answer, but at the same time, like
no,
everything I think boils down to that. Like you're gonna have problems, but if you can work it through for yourself, you can make it happen.
yeah, absolutely. All right, Caleb. Well, I really appreciate you being on the show. If somebody wanted to get a hold of you, first of all,
Yeah.
where would they find you best?
Yeah. You can shoot me an email. It's just Caleb at vaultsportshq.com.
Awesome. And then vaultsportshq.com is your website. We'll put that link up there.
Exactly.
They can download the app called the Vault Sports HQ app as well out in the
Just
Apple
Vault
Play
or whatever
Store.
you want to call it. Yep.
Vault.
Vault. Yep. Yep.
Cool. Awesome. Well, awesome. Any last words? Anything we missed before I let you go here, Caleb?
No, Ryan, this was great. Glad to be part of 182, and yeah, excited to see what this football season has for all of us.
Amazing. Hope to have you on 282
Let's go.
and still ticking in this
We'll
industry.
be
So,
IPO'd by 282, right?
oh, that's amazing. That'd be
Let's
that'd be
go.
great for you guys. So, hey, if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. I appreciate your time, Caleb.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it.
All right, take care. All right, that was Caleb Dykema of Vault. Really cool, really good guy, doing some amazing things in this space. I urge you guys to go out there, download the Vault app, check it out, get your sports books plugged in, and just see if it helps you. Right? I mean, what's the worst that can be? You don't like using it, but I mean, I think you'll see that right away. It really helps you gain some clarity to one, the types of bets you're making, two, what you're good at, and three, just makes it easy to see at a dashboard level kind of what my balances look like and what things are there. So I urge you to go out, take a download there, and go forward. Thanks for listening. Really appreciate it. I'm Ryan Knuppel at KNUP out on most social medias. If you need anything from me, please let me know. Until next time, stay safe, have a good one, and enjoy football this weekend. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye bye.